Hello everyone, and time for another video here, another opinion piece video. So some of you will remember my recent video titled Am I Vegan Enough? which I did because I had a specific person attacking me for not being vegan in her opinion since I went to try the McDonald's plant-based burger, and because it's cooked on the same grill with meat, even though of course you can ask them to clean a part of the grill, as I did recently at Wendy's. So this person is my biggest naysayer and hater, I think, on YouTube, and she made sure today to send me a link to an article about a vegan man suing Burger King, claiming it cooks the Impossible Whopper next to meat. So, ooh, do I have a lot of opinions about this, but let's get into the article. So a vegan man is suing Burger King, as I just stated, and the fast food chain has declined to comment on the lawsuit, which follows other controversies over how restaurants prepare orders that are ostensibly meatless. Now, let me say this very clearly. If every fast food chain that offered a meatless option had a separate grill, a separate fryer, a separate broiler, I would be elated. That's the dream. But in the meantime, we live in a non-vegan world, and making sure vegan options are out there and available without complaining about them is so important. So anyway, the article goes on to say that Burger King's beef-free Whopper may not be so meatless after all, at least according to one vegan customer. I'm also going to interject to say this is exactly the kind of sentiment that meat eaters love. Carnists love to point out that we are failing every time we try to prove that we can be vegan with arguments just exactly as this. So the person who commented on my video and has now sent me this, I don't even know if this person is vegan or not, in all reality. Because meat eaters love to hear good things about their bad habits, and they love to tell us we are not vegan enough. Anyway, so this lawsuit was filed on Monday in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. And the plaintiff is Philip Williams. He claims that the fast food chain failed to disclose that its plant-based Impossible Whoppers are cooked on the same grills as beef products. I don't know who Philip Williams is, but I'm going to just say this right now. This person seems to be along the same lines of intelligence as the person who was suing Miyoko for claiming her vegan butter is butter. Remember that story? So Philip, if you are, as this states, and I think somewhere else said he's like a dedicated hardcore vegan, wouldn't you go in and ask a couple of questions? That's exactly what I do when I go to any of these places I'm ordering for the first time. I want to know how it's prepared. I weigh the pros and cons for myself at that moment and decide whether or not to move forward. So, it's a class action suit accuses Burger King of undertaking false and misleading business practices in the marketing and sale of its meatless burger, and notes that vegans would not purchase the Impossible patties if they knew they had been prepared next to meat options. Again, Philip is obviously, and I hate to say this, but at least he is clearly not educated or knowledgeable enough in terms of what's going on out there. If he went on to Twitter for even half a second, or even YouTube, he would see that there are countless vegans who are enjoying the Impossible patties, loving them, buying them consistently, buying them regularly. Even someone, I can't remember how many he'd had, like one a day over a certain amount of time. They know what veganism is, and veganism is not something that is not ever going to be contaminated with meat products, as this article goes on to, or it's the other article, to point out that our food is mostly created with manure from animals. So we can't escape every single thing that has anything to do with animals. But what vegans do, remember the definition of veganism, is we do the best we can to avoid directly consuming any animal products. And that's a direct slaughter. I purchase a burger that's made from cows. I am paying for the slaughter of a cow. If I have an Impossible Whopper that is cooked on the same broiler as a meat-based patty, it does not require the extra killing of a cow. Whether or not you want any contamination is not a vegan issue. Okay? So Mr. Williams practices a strict vegan diet, and this is laughable to me, because if you did, you would ask questions. Like, why would you? First of all, the Impossible Whopper, am I wrong, is advertised with cheese on it. And it also is not advertised as a vegan burger. So this is where, in my mind, this lawsuit is frivolous and it's going to fail. Just like the person who said Miyoko calling vegan butter confused her because she didn't realize it was vegan, even though the word vegan was in there. Come on, give me a break. Wake up, people. Unfortunately, there's a certain segment of our society that is not all there. And if you want to call me mean for saying that, I'm mean. But this is the truth. There is a certain segment of the society that we live in, and we know this. We know some of these people. We love them, but we know them. They are not all there operating on the exact same plane that most people operate on, and most people with an understanding of a certain issue operate on. And I hope that's clear, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying there are some people who don't fully get the concept of certain things. If you're going to say you're a strict vegan, why would you go to Burger King to start with? Why would you go anywhere if the idea of cross-contamination bothers you? Burger King is clearly a place that sells meat and chicken and all kinds of other stuff. But I'm going to get to another point. I'm reading and commenting. So he went there in August, and the complaint is that he was duped by Burger King's deceptive practices into offering a meat-free Whopper patty that was in fact covered in meat byproducts, though it did not specify how he came to know this. So that would be an excellent point. Did he buy this patty to eat it and enjoy it? And was it because it tasted just like meat that he is suspicious? Did he buy this patty to prove a point, and he took it somewhere and had it analyzed for the exact content of meat in the patty? Because here's what some of my wonderful viewers have commented when I have gone to places like Burger King or McDonald's. And the one thing about Burger King, one of you, my viewers, their husband, works something to do with either the science of the grills or the creation of grills for restaurants. And with the research that came out of that from years ago, it was clear that almost anything that touched that grill, because of the fire, was burned. So if you think that the grease that's still dripping on there is still there, once that flame at that heat hits it, it's disintegrated. And another one of my wonderful viewers named Betty pointed out that she's allergic to meat, yet she can have the Impossible Whopper because of the flame grill. That allows her, because it kills everything on there, it allows her to be able to enjoy that. So if someone who's allergic to meat, and she acknowledged she can't have something cooked on a grill, like the way McDonald's would do it, if that area is not clean. But the Burger King Whopper, there's no issue. So again, understanding as a vegan how things are prepared, that should leave you more satisfied to eat a Burger King Impossible Whopper than I would argue a McDonald's Whopper if you don't want any contamination, especially if there's an allergen, in fact. Okay, so the complaint calls on the fast food chain to return all the profits, I'm sorry, it has gained from selling the meat-free alternative, including the money that Mr. Williams paid. Mr. Williams, wake up, go on social media, and get a clue. Burger King declined to discuss the matter. We do not comment on pending litigation. And unfortunately, this is the kind of thing that just goes to show anyone can create a lawsuit. But, he's going to be spending money, and I think that it's going to end badly for him. Because the other thing, thank you, that I just remembered, if Mr. Williams was the vigilant vegan he claims, he would have gone into Burger King, and when he told them he was vegan and wanted it without mayo, even when I said I wanted it without mayo, they offered me the option to have it microwaved, so to avoid all cross-contamination. So had he paid any attention online, anywhere except going through a drive-through for a burger that's covered with cheese, which was not vegan, he would have known that if he wanted zero cross-contamination, he could have had his Impossible Whopper microwaved to avoid any of that issue. Wouldn't that have been wonderful? So it really makes me wonder if he, like the person suing Miyoko, is deliberately doing this for attention. So Burger King developed the Impossible Whopper in conjunction with Impossible Foods, and it just goes on to talk about after a successful tryout in St. Louis, it went nationwide. And it's not the first time Burger King has faced criticism over its meatless burger. Okay, so in June, the company apologized after it was surfaced that a Brooklyn area location had been delivering beef Whoppers to customers who had ordered the Impossible Whoppers on the Seamless app. Now, that's a completely different story. If you're ordering a meatless burger and someone sends you meat, you could become violently ill if you are like people who have an issue with actually consuming any animal products. Beyond Burger King, fast food restaurants have for decades faced lawsuits over how they prepare meatless food and market it to customers. In 2016, a woman sued Buffalo Wild Wings in New York, arguing it had failed to disclose that its French fries and mozzarella sticks had been cooked in beef tallow. The judge dismissed the case a year later, saying she failed to show she was injured as a result of the company's cooking methods. This is why it's important for us to ask stuff. Like, I'm allergic to shellfish. I went somewhere, they're serving fries. I said, do you guys, is this cooked in the same oil? They said it was. And just because I want to be safe and not die, I couldn't eat any of that. And what they had there, this was a film wrap party. They had lots of veggie platters. So I ate veggie platters. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, I've got to leave and go get food. And someone's like, you're getting food? There's so much food here. I'm like, yeah, I'm vegan. And I like to eat with the veggies. So I had to leave and go get like a pizza because it has vegan cheese. It also says here in 2001, McDonald's was sued after multiple Hindu and vegetarian plaintiffs claimed the company had wrongly described its French fries and hash browns as vegetarian. Cows are considered sacred and holy animals. So, yeah, I mean, what I really hope comes out of this is that companies say, you know what, let's please this segment of society by coming up with different grills or whatever it is to make sure there's no cross-contamination. But let's go on to this article. So, The Guardian goes on. It's the same story, obviously. It says when Burger King announced the Impossible Whopper, they did so with a tagline, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Turns out the statement may have been misleading. At least that's what customer Philip Williams, who's vegan, claimed in a lawsuit filed against the fast food giant in South Florida on Monday. Williams purchased the Whopper at a drive-thru in August. He bought the vegan Whopper, which costs around $1 more than the regular one. Being a strict vegan who doesn't eat any animal byproduct, Williams studiously checked that the burger was indeed mayonnaise-free and proceeded to eat it. I just don't understand this guy. I don't understand him. Why are you going to a fast food place where the likelihood of cross-contamination is there if this bothers you? He says he was shocked to find later that the Impossible Whopper is cooked on the same grills as meat. I mean, what did he think it was cooked on? Williams alleges no signage on his trip warned that the burger would be cooked on the same grills. This is how long has he been vegan? Because anyone who's been vegan for any length knows we're vigilant about reading menus. We're vigilant about reading ingredients on packages. You go through to get a Tim Hortons coffee with soy milk, and I'm saying, do you guys use a different thing to create the cappuccino for the vegan one versus, like, you ask questions. Am I the only one? Anyway, so he argues he was duped. And, okay, he goes on to say it was covered in meat byproducts. Okay. In a statement, Burger King said it does not comment. Okay, we got that. For guests looking for a meat-free option, a non-broiler method of preparation is available upon request. And I applaud Burger King for offering that because I don't think a lot of places are. And Burger King did not respond to a question about whether the statement was uploaded after Williams bought his burger. No! That's been how they've been doing it since they put this thing out. In November, Impossible Foods revealed its own report that an ingredient in the burger was tested on rats, causing controversy over whether it can be truly vegan if tested on animals. And it says a number of rats died in the testing of the burger. I'd heard that was not necessarily the case, but anyway, that's a whole different story. But of course, seeing as most vegetables are grown using animal byproducts such as manure, we may be heading down a slippery slope. But in the meantime, Williams has asked for a pretty simple solution that in future, Burger King plainly discloses that the Impossible Whopper is cooked on the same grill as its other meat when advertising the burger. Now, this article says that as though that's just a simple, wonderful solution. He's also asking that they give back all the money. All right, guys. You've heard my thoughts throughout this. I think this is madness. Any vigilant vegan asks questions. It's what we do. It's a way of life for us. We understand that. We ask questions. We weigh the options. We take the risk that we want based on our need at that time. So, and to my hater, thanks for the article. I know you won't agree with a word I've said. But, also know this. I've had one Impossible Whopper. I've only had one, and for me, something like this, and for most vegans, something like this is something to eat on the road. You're hungry, you want something, it's convenient, just like other foods. But I mean, I'm not eating this 3 times a day. I'm not trying to eat this 3 times a day. But you know what? If I travel again and I'm on the road and my option is McDonald's fries cooked in beef or with the beef coating or the milk on there or an Impossible Whopper, I'll take the Impossible Whopper. All right, guys, that is all for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments below. Look forward to this one. See you in the next video.